Welcome to the Love Sessions. I'm Nori, and I'm here with my beautiful co-host Lily. Hi, Lil.
Hello, Nori. How
I'm
are you,
good.
darling?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Doing
Yay.
pretty good.
Yay. It's a beautiful, almost summer day, and we have Love Sessions number 18 coming up. Wow.
Wow. Does that mean we're legal now?
That's right. We can drink. Wait, is
Woo!
that what
Wait,
that
no,
means?
no. Legal drinking age is 21, so no.
Oh, darn it. Okay. Well, I don't know what we can do, but
Oh,
I,
okay.
I guess we can leave home. Is that what that means?
That I guess.
Oh, my goodness. So,
So our topic of
yeah.
number 18 is betrayal.
Mhm.
Ooh, heavy word.
Heavy word.
Yeah. And this came about from a conversation you and I were having. I'm sure many people have heard of I think it's called the Red Table Talks,
Yeah.
Jada Pinkett Smith,
Yeah.
and how open she's been, the conversations that she has with her mother and her daughter, they're fabulous. But she had a conversation about infidelities and how people, I guess, were asking about infidelities in their marriage. And she said something that struck a chord. And maybe people don't look at it that way, but she talked about how there, and I'm going to try to quote this, but there are many relational betrayals, contempt, neglect, violence, and indifference that are stronger, more important, more devastating to a relationship than physical infidelity or even emotional infidelity.
Definitely.
And that's very, very deep there.
It is deep. It was, and when I read that, I immediately got on text to you because it was so deep and it was so stunning, and it made me think, into areas that I wouldn't have thought before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, and the word betrayal. So, um, when I think about it, back in the day, right, infidelity would have been, I don't know, when I was young and smitten, infidelity would have been the biggest thing ever, right? But that's because we weren't really looking at having a lifetime partnership, or the long-term relationships that we really have. I mean, when you're young, right? I mean, your relationship could be for a summer, or for the school year. But as we get older and we look toward more permanent or more long-lasting partnerships, that changes.
It does. It does. And just with society and the times, the whole reason that people get together and get married and things that all has changed. So, yeah, I mean, the physical infidelity is still very painful and still a very
Yes.
important
Yes.
issue that needs to be addressed. But I think she has a really great point. There are other ways in any relationship, doesn't even have to be a romantic relationship, that you can be betrayed that are much more hurtful and much more difficult to come back from, and probably more important to address within the relationship and within the two people
Right.
than
Right.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was looking up different meanings for the word betrayal. So it came up with, disloyalty, bad faith, faithlessness, deception, duplicity, disclosure. So I never even thought of that. I mean, you could have something that's really close to your heart in a relationship that's between you and your partner, and they disclose it. I mean, that's a betrayal. I never even
Absolutely.
thought of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That breach of trust.
Yeah. Yeah. So it makes me wonder, an infidelity may not be as big as a breach of trust on another level, but isn't that what's underneath the infidelity? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And that actually brings me to one of the words that she used, contempt.
Contempt.
Now, that's such a painful word,
Yes.
because if someone that you're in a relationship with, that you have this agreement with, that you have this bond and trust with, is treating you with contempt or holding contempt against you, that's really painful. And how do you address that? How do you heal that?
Boy, that's tough. I mean, because contempt unaddressed is lethal.
Yes.
Yeah,
On
absolutely.
both sides.
Absolutely.
On both sides, because it seems like, well, the one person who's treating the other person as, as like they're less than, or they're, beneath consideration or worthless or something, they have a lot to deal with, as well as the person who's on the receiving end of that.
Yes.
There's a lot of healing that needs to go on there. Because if you're in a relationship with someone that you look at as less than your equal, as sort of not worthy of your presence in their life, there's a lot of ugliness going on there. There's a lot of pain going on there.
There is a lot of pain, and I hope if somebody is recognizing that, the other person is feeling that way about them, that, if communication can't happen, because of those feelings, to walk away. I mean, to walk away for a while, instead of going down, I mean, that could lead to the victim road.
Right.
Right. If you're really sensitive and you're really hurt, and you're feeling, what they're flowing in your direction, if you're not careful, you could really not be bringing love back to you. The opposite. Yeah.
Right. And that, going back to the word betrayal, that's the highest betrayal, which is the betrayal of yourself.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I wrote. I said that if you were betrayed, didn't our choices betray ourselves? Because it did, right?
It did. It absolutely did.
So how long so that's the question. So, I'm imagining, like a mom, protecting a baby. So, if you're betrayed, and if you allowed yourself to be betrayed, and you therefore betrayed yourself, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah. That's that big issue. What are you going to do about it? Where do you go from there? Or do you pass this on? I love that you brought up a mom and her baby. Do you pass this on to your child? You used the word victim before. Allowing ourselves to feel betrayed. So I'd rather say feel betrayed rather than be betrayed, because we're taking the power in ourselves. Allowing ourselves to feel betrayed is something that, if we don't address it, we can teach that to our children. To stay in victim mode, to stay in, like service mode, or stay in that place where you are kind of beneath other people. You never let your light shine.
Right.
And there's a danger there. So how do you address that? How do you go back to that? And I think the first thing is to look at yourself and say, I do not want to feel betrayed anymore by anyone, starting with myself.
Yes. That's so perfect. That's a hard statement to get to, especially if, you're on the couch crying in the fetal position. That's a hard, that one time you get up to blow your nose, when you stand on your feet and you feel your feet firmly on the ground, that's a good time to say, you know what? I don't want to feel betrayed anymore. Not even, and the more I go back to the fetal position and crying, the more I think I am betraying myself and not addressing it. So I guess what we're really talking about is taking responsibility.
Yeah, or taking power, taking empowerment.
Power, I love that.
Because sometimes saying taking responsibility can still, if you're not in a fully healed place, that can still feel like, oh, now I got to take on another burden.
Right.
So I like to switch that around and say, take on empowerment. Like, I'm going to empower myself here.
I like that, because I'm seeing that person who is on the couch, crying now, with putting on a little superhero cape.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know if I can tie this cape, but I'm going to try.
At least I'm trying.
Exactly.
I'm going to try here, and that's where it starts, and it's baby steps. A lot of times it's baby steps, tiny little baby steps, because many times before we get to a relationship where we're allowing ourselves to be betrayed, to be treated with contempt or neglect or indifference, another word that was used that's so powerful, we had those seeds somewhere within us ourselves.
Yes.
And
That's
then,
hard. It may be hard for people to acknowledge right now, but absolutely.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's okay, because, you could take a weed whacker to those suckers and chop them right down.
Exactly. That's pretty empowering.
That's right. Forget the seeds. I don't even care where they came from, who put them there. I'm just chopping this down and I'm moving on. Just because I don't want to feel betrayed, because that's a really yucky feeling.
Yes. I want to say devastating. And it is momentarily devastating, because the realization, of what you thought could never happen, happened. And it's so in your face.
Yeah.
I can think of an adult betrayal that I experienced, and it wasn't in a romantic relationship. It was in a family relationship. And the other family member, chose a behavior, a very demonstrative behavior that wasn't just between us. It involved like the whole family or the whole community. And I felt so betrayed, and at first, I felt like it was something about me, that it was something lacking in me that family member would dare to do that. Then when I decided that, I'm just going to look at it. I'm not going to look at it through these eyes that are so in pain. I'm going to take a breath, and then take a minute, and then I'm going to look at it. And when I looked at it from the other family member's perspective, I realized that, that was just an older person, toward the end of their life, that wanted to have a certain experience that, if I weighed and measured it through my experience with them, it looks like betrayal. But, in their eyes, it may not have been betrayal to them. They still loved me the same way. They still, were that particular role in the family. And that's where I had to come to a conclusion, not a conclusion, a decision. How do I want to handle this? And what I chose was, I recognized that for me, the betrayal happened. For them, the relationship was something different. It had morphed over the years into something different, and their focus is different. And, although I still love them as that role, in the family, that I would buffer myself in the event that something like this could happen again. And it changed our relationship, because I was always a little, arm's distance with them forever, but it was okay. It wasn't a huge breakup. It wasn't a big, huge family drama. It was something that I that I chose to navigate personally, and I let them know, hey, what you did, what you chose to do is changing the nature of our relationship. And we were able to have that changed relationship until that person left the planet. And it was okay. It was okay.
That's beautiful. That's a wonderful example of taking your power.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic, because
Thank you.
And you're welcome. I mean, it's just, I got chills as you were talking. I'm like, wow, what a beautiful, gentle way of just, taking back your power. Because I think, going back to the article and the conversation that we were referencing,
Yes.
what she was saying is, these things happen in relationships, and you don't always necessarily have to walk away, but
That's
you do
it.
have to address them. You
That's
do have
it.
to deal with them. And I agree with that. I mean, in when it comes to, of course, violence and any kind of real abuse, that's never okay. And
Right.
the first option should be to get away from there as soon as possible. Absolutely. But there are other ways of, and you said this phrase in one of our previous love sessions, and I loved it. Growing a new relationship.
Yes.
Which the example that you just gave with this family member was just that. You made the decision to grow a new relationship. And you didn't necessarily need the other person's permission or
Right.
acceptance or apologies or for them to change or for them to do anything at all.
Right.
Which is true empowerment, when you don't need the other person to really do anything, but you take it on yourself and say, well, this is what I'm going to do because this is what I want this to end up looking like.
Right. So what's the end result? What do you want? And what do you have to, what energy, space, and thoughtfulness do you have to be in order to create that for yourself? That's so amazing. Thank you for pointing that out. I didn't see that.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I saw it completely. And that's the ultimate weed whacking.
I love it. I love
because
it.
that just eliminates betrayal from it. It just takes it out. I don't feel betrayed. I don't want to feel betrayed. I don't feel betrayed, but I know that I have to do something different in order for me to feel okay. And I love that you said okay. Like, you didn't say great, fantastic, it was wonderful, rainbows and unicorns.
Right.
It was okay. And that's all we really need.
Yeah. I mean, that might not be the same if it were, a romantic relationship, or if it was my husband. I mean, that could have looked different.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so interesting to me that, Jada said that there are betrayals that are, bigger than infidelity. But I keep wanting to go back, like, to peek under infidelity. So if it's just infidelity, truly I was drunk and I knew what I was doing and it was strictly physical. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there is nothing underneath it. Maybe there isn't any contempt or violence or, or other hidden meaning under it. Maybe it was just truly a misstep. I don't know. But when there is other things under that, when the betrayal, when the infidelity is a symptom of something bigger, we really need to look at that.
Yeah. It's like levels of injuries, levels of wounds to a marriage, to a relationship. Maybe something requires stitches.
Yes.
Maybe something requires surgery, or maybe something requires a couple of Band-Aids and some TLC. Sometimes there is that, like you said, it was a one slip up or something, and it's painful, but maybe the conversations and the healing that comes out of that actually make that worth it. You get to a place that you realize you're better than you were before. So it's really just knowing how you feel and how you want to feel. And always, always, always being able to be honest with yourself and say, I don't want to feel betrayed. Because if I feel betrayed, I'm not going to be able to go anywhere from here. I'm going to stay in this dark dungeon.
Right. Wow. It's so powerful.
Yeah.
I'm processing this. Sorry.
I know. It's a lot to process.
It is a lot, but I don't know if I'll ever see the word betrayal in the same light. Because now I will forever see betrayal with "take your power back" next to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Good.
Yeah.
You don't have to take responsibility for it. I don't like that phrase.
Yeah. No, that was good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just take your power back.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Amazing. So I don't feel betrayed.
I don't either. I love the garden that we're planting over here. Our little seeds, we're growing things. It looks good.
It does look good. It's the love sessions
The
garden.
love sessions, yes.
I'm going to go plant some more flowers. How about you?
I'm going to go water them, yes. You plant them, I water them, and we can sit together and enjoy them. How's that?
Sounds perfect.
Okay.
I'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.